Karate Kid Legends is the latest movie in the Karate Kid franchise, this time following a character named Lee. He's recently moved out of Beijing, China into the Big Apple, New York City. Lee's just trying to start a fresh new life until some people start giving him trouble, having him turn to karate. And that's all. Putting a second, any spoilers, you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review. Another Karate Kid movie, man. I love the Karate Kid franchise since I was a kid, kept up with the movies, and huge fan of Cobra Kai, even if the later seasons got super Disney Channel levels of corny. I was even a really big fan of the Jaden Smith reboot. I thought that was one of the rare times that you actually made a remake, did something slightly different while paying homage to the original, and it actually resonating with some people. I know for a lot of people that Jaden Smith movie is their definitive version of Karate Kid, and that's great. So I was kind of mind blown when out of nowhere Sony announced that they will be kind of merging the worlds together. Daniel LaRusso from the original Karate Kid and Jackie Chan's Mr. Han coming together to teach one special individual karate and kung fu. It honestly seemed too good to be true, and then I saw that first trailer and I was like, whoa, looks like they actually put some effort into this. It looks semi-serious. The legacy characters actually seem to be involved in the story. What could go wrong? And then a couple weeks before I got to see my press screening, I saw reviews pouring in calling it the worst legacy sequel of all time, and my heart was broken. So that was really the mindset I was going in. I was like, man, no way they could have fumbled it that bad. The trailers look good. You got Jackie Chan. Like, how often do we get Jackie Chan in a main North American production? Almost rarely now. So expectations were low, but I still couldn't help myself to be excited. And, I am mixed on this one quite a bit. I do want to start off by saying I think that review that called it like the worst legacy sequel of all time, no. That is like a huge exaggeration. When you actually watch the movie, the worst that it is fine. It's overall, it's honestly just an okay movie that suffers from being extremely generic and just following the formula of a classic Karate Kid story. Story of a kid who's new in town, tries to make friends, encounters bullies, can't defend himself, learns to defend himself, and comes out better. There's more to it than that, but that's the basic formula, and the movie sticks to that. And some of the things that it does well in that formula is the lead. Ben Wang, who plays Li Fong in the movie, he's very likable. I think he's charismatic, and I could see this kid having a future in Hollywood. This is the first thing I see him in, but he's soon going to be coming out in the Stephen King movie, The Long Walk. And after seeing him in Karate Kid Legends, I think he's going to be a fun part of that movie. And that's something so crucial. You need to be able to root and be excited for this character to go through this struggle, learn whatever they need to in martial arts, and then come out on top. And they have that here with Ben Wang. Another thing I enjoyed about this is Jackie Chan. I think he's just such a huge treat to watch on screen. And if you're someone like me who just admires Jackie Chan, every minute of screen time you get with him, you're just gonna be smiling, whether he's doing some kung fu, offering words of wisdom, or that well-timed comedy that Jackie Chan has mastered. I even had a little bit of a fangasm watching Jackie Chan, Mr. Han, and Ralph Macchio Danielson interacting with one another, both acting as senseis, helping out this kid. Like, in a weird way, it really was the Spider-Man No Way Home for Karate Kid fans. And so I really did cherish those moments of screen time between those two legends. I also really liked the way the movie looked. It complemented New York really well. There's been so much ugly digital movies lately, and this one has like a warm, nice atmosphere to it. And so like, it's kind of really that stuff where I'm watching the movie and nothing about it is offensively bad or really like straight up garbage. It's just hitting those marks of what you need in a Karate Kid movie. Fight scene here, person being bullied, training montage, the big tournament. And so I think casual fans of the Karate Kid brand are gonna like fall in love with this and absolutely enjoy this movie the most. I'll even say my audience, by the final fight and the way the movie ended, there was people clapping and cheering. They were super into it. I think there's gonna be a lot of general moviegoers that have this as a feel-good movie. You know, we joke around sometimes as Karate Kid fans that Cobra Kai got really cheesy and corny, and this movie has a little bit of that, where it's a little cheesy. It definitely leans more family-friendly. I wouldn't say it gets as corny as some of the later seasons of Cobra Kai, but it's got those kind of cute moments, and overall the movie just plays it very safe. And that kind of safe attitude made the movie super predictable, so easy to tell where it was going, and it kind of, just made me not that excited in the overall story. But for a lot of other people who like just remember the old Karate Kid movie or the Jaden Smith one, they're gonna be like, I remember Karate Kid, let's see that. they're just going to be perfectly happy with this. But now if I want to get over to my negatives and the things I think really hold this movie back, oh, boy, do I got some complaining, and that you know I'm the king of just nitpicky complaining. All right, so like I said, I really do think general audiences or casual people who are familiar with Karate Kid or know it are gonna like this movie. I think diehard fans who get into everything Karate Kid, know all the movies, watched all the seasons of Cobra Kai, believe in the Miyagi-verse, they're gonna be the most disappointed with this movie. Jackie Chan in this movie, to me, has a decent amount of screen time where I feel like he does impact the story in a way and you get enough of him. Sadly, I think Ralph Macchio does not. He is severely underused in this movie, barely feels like a character, and is really only there for the nostalgic attachment for fans who care about having Daniel back in a Karate Kid movie. But even getting back on Jackie Chan, if I'm being really honest, the way Jackie Chan acts in this movie, I feel is nothing like the way he acted as Mr. Han in the Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie. Like that, I feel like there's a complete personality change between these two movies. Jackie in this one is a lot more goofier, open-minded, sillier, and although he has moments of wisdom, to me it feels kind of completely different than the way he was as Mr. Han, and again, that's just something I'm gonna notice as a big fan of this world. I feel like the movie also kind of misses the mark or the charm of what makes a Karate Kid movie very relatable or just so fun to watch. It's this factor of seeing somebody who knew nothing about karate, how to defend themselves, or was constantly being bullied, or was in this underdog place that then goes through that process to learn how to fight, to learn karate, be able to defend themselves, and ultimately defeat this evil threat that they're facing. They don't have that with this Karate Kid movie. You start the movie with someone who already knows how to fight, who's already a pretty skilled fighter. They just happen to meet someone else that's slightly better at fighting, and so now he needs to get slightly better at also fighting. The movie tries to make it a theme, you know, two branches of the same tree, two different things coming together, because one surprise that happened in this movie I wasn't expecting is there's kind of another mini Karate Kid story within this movie. This involved Joshua Jackson, who plays Victor, the father of the love interest for our main character, and he owns a pizza shop, and without going into too much detail, he just needs some money, sees this kid who knows Kung Fu, hopes that some of the Kung Fu he knows can be implemented into his knowledge of boxing that he already has, so he can use it to win a boxing tournament and earn some money. So it's like there's a larger Karate Kid story with this kid having his own tournament, his own struggle, but in the middle of the movie we take a pause to all that to get a boxing Karate Kid movie, and I don't know, it felt like it was almost two different movies clashing into one, and it again missed that mark of what made Karate Kid special. It's like, this kid already knows how to fight, he just needs to learn how to fight a little more. This dad who's a boxer already knows how to fight, he just needs to learn how to fight a little bit better. That leap in progress and that underdog story of going from like, dude, this guy was a nobody, oh my god, he's winning, he's a champion now, is kind of lost in this movie. It doesn't pack the same emotional heart as it did with like watching Daniel take that leap, or watching Jaden Smith's character take that leap, or even Miguel from Cobra Kai take that leap. On that same note, I think the villain of this movie, absolutely weak. The most stereotypical, I'm angry because I'm evil kind of guy. There's no depth to him, there's no intrigue. He's literally just a guy who's upset because the new kid is hitting on his girlfriend, which is a repetitive plot point from the original Karate Kid. But going back to what made that Karate Kid movie so special, there was enough little intrigue and insight into Johnny's character, the bad guy, to where he was beloved by fans, that although he was the villain, there were character traits they gave him that made him so interesting that years later, they would give him his own TV show. There's no kind of depth like that with this character. There's nothing kind of interesting about them other than the angry face and them being like, I fight better than you. And well, with this being a martial arts movie, you're probably asking yourself, well, Chris, well, how's the martial arts though? Okay, two ways to describe this one. I think the choreography and fight scenes were done really well, but they were hindered by the way it was shot and edited. What I mean by that is when you're watching the movie, you can tell that there's some really cool fight scenes going on, but you can't enjoy those awesome choreographed fight scenes because the camera's cutting every 2 seconds. It's changing positions. It's not letting you enjoy the full scope of it. And to me, that was just a little annoying. There are a glimmer of like cool standout moments, but most of it all is shot in such a way you can't enjoy the cool choreography that they've set up for the film. I I mentioned that there's also a love interest in here played by Sadie Stanley. While they do have like a moment of decent chemistry in the beginning, as the movie goes on, it just feels really forced and you don't buy into that love relationship as much as you want. The movie also feels extremely rushed. It's an hour and 30 minutes, so it just kind of goes through a lot of those beats, just check mark hitting it, not really giving the story the time to breathe or you really to develop a lot of these other characters. And there are some decent side characters. Like, I did like the dad character. I even like the friend who would help Ben study, but they're never given enough range for it to be impactful into the film. And honestly, that's just how I feel about it. It's like, I didn't hate watching it. I didn't have a horrible time, but it's not really going to be anything memorable. And even if we look back at all the Karate Kid projects that we've had, this will end up just kind of somewhere on the lower end, because I just think there are more memorable projects that tell the story of Karate Kid in a lot more impactful way. So when it comes to Karate Kid Legends, I'm going to give action 3 stars. Like I said, I think there are some cool choreography and there are a sliver of moments where you get to enjoy that, but the way those action scenes are shot do not complement the cool choreography that they've done for the movie. Comedy in the film, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. A lot of that honestly is from Jackie Chan, but the lead is also pretty funny. He's a charming guy, and honestly the best and funniest part was the post-credit scene of this movie, which definitely stay for. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars, man. We have seen this type of Karate Kid story done so much, and this is the most generic formulaic way to do it. There's not as much heart, there's not as much depth. Even the Jaden Smith movie really tried adding in some emotion with Mr. Han's character, and a lot of that character depth is gone in Jackie Chan this time around. Horror in the movie, no stars too. It's a very family-friendly, safe movie. And suspense the movie, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I wish I could say I was like on the edge of my seat wondering who would win in these fights, but it was so obvious to see where every story beat was going. And again, the movie just played it safe. Casual viewers are gonna enjoy this the most. I'm gonna give it an A- for them. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a B-, and critically, I'm going to give it a C+. While Karate Kid Legends is not anything awful or ruins the franchise in any sort of way, it still doesn't do anything memorable or impactful to justify its existence, and honestly just waste bringing in together 2 different eras of Karate Kid, so I'd suggest renting or streaming it at home.
That'll do, Donkey. That'll do.
Again, that's just my opinion on the movie, guys. I know there's still going to be plenty of people that walked out perfectly happy with this, and like I said, I totally understand. I just think when you're trying to bring in all those eras and revitalize Karate Kid, the first season of Cobra Kai did it better. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films, or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.